Hey guys, my name is Nick. I'm currently a senior at Leland High School, which is in Almaden, and today BayEcho is proud to present social media.
Hi everybody, my name is Jennifer Jin, and I'm a senior at Saratoga High School, and I am also the co-president of BayEcho.
Hi everyone, I'm Emily Chen, and I'm a senior at Fremont High School.
Hi, I'm Catherine Sam, and I'm a junior at Los Gatos High School.
Hi, I'm Angela, and I'm a junior at Lincoln.
Hi, I'm Tanya, and I'm a junior from Cupertino.
Hi, I'm Kenny Zhang, I'm a junior at the Harker School.
And hey, I'm James Ling, and I'm a junior at Loma Vista High.
This is BayEcho, and we will be presenting on social media. So just to give you guys a brief background as to who we are, we were started in 2010 with the sole focus of helping families heal from intra-family issues caused by societal and generational gaps. But why social media? So in our first presentation, we talked more about communication and how a healthy communication helps families heal. But today, we decided to talk about social media mainly because throughout those presentations, a lot of parents came up and asked us, why is my child spending so much time on Facebook, Twitter, playing video games when they should be doing their homework? So today we decided to take that question along with a survey that we sent out with about 100 teen respondents and 30 parent respondents, all with the same questions. And we decided to throw that into one whole presentation, dividing it into about 4 or 5 sections for your information, and in hopes that we can help educate both the parents and the teens as to what these social media websites and video games are, what they're actually about. So, but first we'd like to thank Fourth Women Prize for helping us, for allowing us to host this event, and thanks to the audience like you guys for actually coming out. So, without further ado, we'll begin with the internet.
Hi everybody, once again, my name is Jennifer Jin, and I'm a senior at Saratoga High School.
And I'm Kenny Zhang, I'm a junior at the Harker School.
And today we'll be talking about the internet. Alright, so first we will talk about how we teens usually access the internet. First we have the computer, which is generally the more traditional way, and then we also have a smartphone, which is the newer, more contemporary way. And the smartphone is essentially like a mini computer. It can do almost everything that a computer can do, but it can also text, and you can listen to music, and you can play a lot of games. So the reason teens like this is because it is a mini computer, and it's really easy. You can take it with you anywhere. So next we asked teens, or not, I'm sure many of you guys are wondering, why is my teen always on the computer? As soon as they get home, it's like they are attracted to it by a magnetic force. It's just that it's really, really fun, and that there's so many things you can do on the internet. There are hundreds of millions of websites on the internet, and all of them have, a different, unique thing to do on it, such as homework. You can do research, you can type up your paper. You can play video games, such as the video game pictured in here, which is League of Legends, and later Nick and James will be talking more in depth about video games. But it's also just a really good way to communicate with each other, because information over the internet travels really, really quickly, and it's really nice to have.
So on the internet, there's millions of websites to visit, but probably the most commonly visited websites by teenagers are Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, and YouTube. So Facebook, as you may or may not know, is probably the biggest social media website. We'll get back to that later. But Tumblr is also it's a social media website. It's more of a blogging website. You can share text posts, pictures, videos. You can just share internet content with your friends, and it also operates as a blog. So teenagers put their personal thoughts in a blog sometimes. And Twitter is also kind of like a blogging thing, but Twitter is like a mini blog. It's limited to 140 characters, and it's usually more used by celebrities and the news. So teenagers or anyone who has Twitter can follow celebrities and follow the news and receive updates. And last of all, YouTube, as you may know or may not know, is a video website. It's mainly for entertainment purposes. You can share music, but there's also educational purposes. So out of all the websites, why is Facebook the most popular one? So Facebook, as you may or may not know, is probably the most infamous or famously known as Facebook. And you may be wondering, how on earth can Facebook be used for academic purposes? How will my child study on Facebook? Well, Facebook has this unique feature of creating groups. It's a group feature. You press a button, you can create a group, you invite certain people to this group. And sometimes this group is used for academic purposes. For example, my school, we use a class page. So all the juniors from Harper are on this Facebook group, or class pages like pre-calculus study group. So it operates as a student forum. So students can ask questions and receive help from other students alike. And also, the biggest part of Facebook is keeping in touch with friends, obviously. So not only can you add friends from your school, but you can add anyone that you know. You can add people for me, myself, I use Facebook not only to contact people at my school when I don't see them around all day, but also like people from other schools, childhood friends, people overseas. Basically just keep in touch with friends without having to go through the hassle of calling them over the phone or emailing them, when I can just contact them with a click of a button. And also Facebook, you can share and view photos. So instead of having to email everyone this one photo, you can just share on your Facebook profile for all your friends to see. And the picture, it can be anything. You can put an award, a group picture, just anything nice. And last of all, Facebook also has games. Now, games on Facebook are relatively not used as often as much, but more preteens and younger people play games, as you may or not know Farmville or Tetris as one of the games.
So next we asked teens in general, how do they spend their time on social media websites? Well, as you can see, all 100% of the teens that we interviewed said that they use it to talk with their friends. Like for me, my favorite part of going to school is that I can interact with my friends and talk to them during breaks. So that translates when I get home, when I can use Facebook. I like to continue talking with them. But besides talking with your friends about non-academic things, it's also a really good way to discuss homework, whether through messaging, if you're asking them a question, or through academic groups, like Kenny said earlier. But besides that, you can also read the news, you can share photos, you can play games, and all this other really nice things, which is why Facebook is so popular. It combines a lot of things together. Alright, so next we asked teens how much time they spend on the internet for academic things. And most of them said it was either evenly academic, evenly non-academic, or more non-academic. So it's true that we do like to use the internet for playing around, watching videos, but it's also true that internet is really important to us to do research papers and the like.
So in our survey, we asked the teenagers how much time they spend on the internet. And most of the teenagers replied between 2 and 4 hours. But when we interviewed parents, when we surveyed parents on how much they thought their teen used the internet, they responded with 3 to 6 hours. Now, this is not very much of a difference. It's relatively similar. But as you can see from the graph, that the parents believe that we use the internet more often than we actually do. But it really depends on the teenager and how much self-control they have over how they use the internet and what they use it for.
Some reasons for this may be because I like to keep my computer up in the background. I listen to Pandora, which is an internet music radio station. So I'm listening to my music and the monitor is up, but I'm not really interacting with the computer. So it may seem like I'm spending a lot more time on the internet than I actually am, but it's really just up in the background. And another reason is that I feel, after I'm done doing my homework, I like to take a small break, and then I go on the internet, and then my dad's like, "Jennifer, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "What? I'm just taking a break." And maybe because he likes to comment this on a lot, so it sticks to his brain. He's like, "Jennifer's always on the computer." So that may be a reason why he always thinks I'm on the computer. Alright, so we asked teens, can you limit the amount of time that you spend online? And over half of them said yes, and very, very few of them said no. So when we asked them, does the internet affect your productivity, most of them said between a little bit to moderately. So this may seem like it contradicts with our previous slide, because if we can limit the time that we spend on it, we would, as soon as it stops as soon as it starts affecting our productivity, we would stop. But really, to us, like we want to compromise between having fun and doing work. We like to have fun, so we're willing to accept the consequences if it affects it only a little. So next, there are some drawbacks to the internet. First of all, there is privacy. As soon as something goes up on the internet, everyone can basically see it, and even if you want to take it down, people have already seen it. They may have copied it onto a different website, and your electronic footprint has already been there. Second of all, there is procrastination. I admit that sometimes I'm like, today's not my day, I'll put my homework off a little bit and procrastinate. So sometimes I'll just go on the internet, before I know it, it's like late. I'm like, oh, I have to do my homework. But most of the time that doesn't happen. I need to focus on my studies. But there's also inappropriate content on the internet, and generally it doesn't show up, but sometimes it's there. But later our advisor Didi will go more in depth on. So besides the drawbacks, there are benefits, and these benefits definitely do outweigh the drawbacks. So first of all, it's just a really good way to gather information, do research. I recently just had a research paper I had to do, and our school has a really, really nice online database that we can use. It collects all this information, and it's really, really easy to access. And, instead of like flipping through the pages of our book, you're like, oh, that's not it, that's not the right source. I can just go on it and look for my information. And it's also a good way to learn about current events. Internet, as soon as you learn about something, you can upload it onto the internet, and everyone can see it. So, news gets out really, really quickly, as opposed to waiting for the newspaper coming out the next day. It's also a good way to stay in touch with friends. I have some friends in New York that, I will message them. I'll be like, hey, what's up? And then, we have a little conversation. But besides that, it's just a good way to relax and cure some boredom after a long day of school.
So as you can see, the internet has both its benefits and drawbacks, and there's this fine line between these benefits and drawbacks that we must be able to balance to achieve to properly use the internet wisely. And it's because of this misunderstanding and misuse of the internet that causes the conflict between parents and teens. And so it is our job to fix this.
So, because of this, parents should talk to their teens. If you have any questions, ask them, but don't be too intrusive, because we may feel like you're intruding on our privacy, and then you may start to close up. But at the same time, teens, they need to work with their parents and answer these questions and establish any rules and boundaries. So I know a lot of misunderstandings will cause some fights. So if you work on these misunderstandings and talk about the internet openly, then a lot of these misunderstandings will disappear. And on that note, we will pass it back to Nick.